And welcome back to Career Build Series, episode 165. And so we're going to work on the excavator again. I want to get this, I don't know if finished is the correct word, but we'll get this going and more complete. And so just some things I kind of want to do and get this going here. And so, I've been looking at some more pictures of excavators, and I'm trying to just kind of get some of this design done here. So one thing I want to do here is to try to get the pistons to not interact as much. This one up top is fine. Let's kind of look at their articulation. This is mostly aesthetics. We're getting towards. I was like, why is that not working? Infinite electricity. There we go. So we're getting towards the aesthetics phase and getting this to look right. And so let's look at each component. And so if we go up, we have boom 1, or the boom, and then Bendigo sent me a message about what they're named. Boom is the main armature, and the second section is the stick. I have a friend who drives excavators. I think that's what he calls them. I'm not sure, so I'll have to ask him as well. And I'm sure different places call them different things. So if we look at that first, what should be a hydraulic piston, again, please Devs Hydraulics. You notice it goes into the arm. That's not the end of the world. There's a couple ways I could make that so that it doesn't do that. You'll notice on a lot of excavators, let me see if I can bring up the picture I had yesterday. One of the ways they do it is the way they thin the arm, so it's thinner on one side than the other, and the slope. I might XML edit some blocks to do this. I'm trying to do more XML editing. A lot of people ask for XML editing tips and stuff, and I don't do it too much, so it'd be good for me to get better at it as well. So let's go ahead and look at this picture that I took. I took this at IRL. If you look at the boom here, you can see how it's flat pretty much in the bottom, and then it slopes down on the top. And what that allows it to do is when the hydraulic piston is all the way retracted, it's not touching the section. Like mine is flatter, so this section will be filled with blocks. You'll also notice it here. It's flat on the bottom, and it slopes down towards the connection point. I can't do this shackle here because, just because of limitations of the game. You'll notice how this works. You see how small you can get a pivot IRL. There's a pivot point here. There's a bushing there. There's probably a through rod and bushings. And then there's probably a through pin and bushings here. And so you hook the end of the hydraulic cylinder with a pin, and it has bushings. And so when this retracts, this lever arm here goes forward, back, and then this drag link here is attached to the lever arm, and you have a stationary pivot here with a pin and a bushing, and then this arm, this drag link here, it's not really a drag link, but I don't know the exact name. If it was on your car to work the steering, it'd be called a drag link. But this linkage here hooks there, and so when you pull back on this lever, it allows you to articulate, in this case, the jackhammer. So kind of what I want to do is I want to flatten the bottoms, thin the tops, so that the pistons are not interacting with the surface, so that hopefully I can make these solid and don't have to have the pistons going in between. Again, not the end of the world, but I like to do that. And if I could make some sort of system like that, that would be really cool. So go ahead, and we're going to continue here. So one thought I had too is in IRL excavators, you use hydrostatic systems. So essentially what you do is you have a diesel turning a hydraulic motor. The hydraulic oil comes through, and then there are hydrostatic drives. And so the hydrostatic drives are essentially, it's kind of like an impeller almost. And so as the hydraulic oil comes through, it pushes on the hydrostatic, and it causes rotational energy, and that's how you turn the tracks. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do this with direct drive or if I want to do it diesel electric. It's probably going to end up being diesel electric is going to be the easiest, most certainly, just because it kind of mimics a hydrostatic drive. Instead of sending hydraulic oil, I'm sending electricity, and then it's turning the electric motors. And then I could also go forward and backwards much more quickly. So we'll decide on that, but let's look at the arms and figure this out. So as you can see, The bottom of the arm is the bottom of the boom is fine. The top needs to be thinned. The next section, the stick, is backwards. So let's go ahead and bring it in the workbench, and let's kind of look at this. And we'll do a little bit of XML editing. So what I'm going to do here is, don't want to overcomplicate this. So what I think I'm going to do is, let's just, I'll delete that, and I'll delete that, and I will undo both of them and put on symmetry because that is the way. Alright, so I'm going to go like this. Alright. And so pretty much this piston is going to have to come out 1. That's just the way of it. And so that's not bad. That can come out 1. And paste that there. And then I should be able to get, do I have a 2x wedge somewhere I can grab? There we go. And that will go there. Let's merge that up. Alright, so that is now moved. Next thing I want to do is, we can make the bottom more on the flat end. So go ahead and I will, so let's see, I want to kind of do, I think a 2x wedge here. Like so. And then this is pretty flat, so we'll go all the way down, and then with 4 remaining, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a 1x4. Alright, so that's going to be the bottom of the stick. And so now the top of it, I want to kind of do a, trying to decide how long I can make this. So I'm going to do a little counting. So I want that to end there, but I want it to be very thin and long. Maybe 12 blocks. Let me count. 12, 13. Yeah, if I could make it 12 blocks, that would be awesome. So let's try that. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Let's save it. All sorts of other projects here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start something new here, and let's grab a wedge. And we'll start with a 1x4 wedge, and I'm going to XML edit this wedge. So I just want the wedge. I'll save it as long wedge. Alright, we'll save that. I'm going to bring up Strunner's utility. And so let's go ahead and let's look at this. So let's see, I don't know if I have a wedge. There's a 2 wedge here. No, that's a regular wedge. Wedge. Okay, that's wedge 2. So wedge 4 is what I'm looking for. Wedge 4, beautiful. Okay, so we have wedge 4. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. And let's start increasing. That's width. This is, what is that? That is up, down, and then this is length. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to make it a 1x12. So this right here is my code. I'm going to go in and let me see if I can find my files here. Alright, Microsoft OneDrive can go away as far as I'm concerned. I hate the Microsoft OneDrive. I need to fix it so it doesn't do that. Alright, so let's bring the long wedge. Let's find it right here. Here's our R equals. We'll copy it, we'll replace it, we'll save it, and close that. And then I'm going to go ahead back in game, and we'll load up long wedge, and there it is. We have a long wedge. Okay, and so let's go ahead and let's take long wedge here. That's already saved, so let's open up the latest excavator here. Let's import long wedge. And where'd you go? There you are. Okay, so here's long wedge. That's way too long. Alright, so I'm going to put it in place just so I can kind of tell percentage-wise how big. There's also a good way that, so the collision is in the middle here. So the collision would be 4 blocks. So you see where the arrow is? So the collision is probably 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. This area here and this area here will have no collision. And so the benefit of that is If you were going to have something touch it, it wouldn't have any sort of collision interaction, so you wouldn't actually end up having something freaking out on you, man. All right, so that's too long. Let's go ahead and open up the XML. Where is my? Did I close the X? Of course, I closed Notepad++, thinking that I would get this in the first try. It's pretty silly of me. All right, so let's make this a 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. So yeah, that's probably might work. We'll see. Let's open up long wedge. Nope, let's do this. Let's keep it in here. Let's go ahead and clear that. Let's then just import long wedge. That way I don't have to close the screen. That's right. I don't know. Again, I just woke up, so it could be my morning brain's not working. All right, let's paste that. That looks better. You see how that won't interact now? That's better. Paste. I should have just gone after both of them at the same time. All right, merge that. All right, so that is now merged, as you can see. I might come down 1 on it, but I'm not too afraid of that. Let's kind of look at it. So that's looking pretty good there. I might XML edit 1 on the other side, but yeah, I might do that. Let's go ahead and put that like that. So that looks better. That looks thinner. I'm trying to get, yeah, the gray, it highlights it really well. That has a good profile. The top here is a little bit bulbous, but that's not, it's pretty bulbous on the real one. You know, part of the issue is I can't get, you know, you saw how small those pins and bushings were, where the actual connection points are. Our connection points are much larger. You see, in order for me to have a pin and bushing, like this right here is the pin and bushing. That's how big it would be. IRL is just right here. And we have to have a block this, so we have to essentially have 3 blocks to connect what should be that big. And I understand why we actually need to have each gap, each space be that way. Let's spawn it and just look at it. So that's looking the business. What is this? Oh, one of them didn't merge. Okay. Looks like it's falling over. All right, this one didn't merge. So, okay, there we go. Let's look at it. So again, you kind of notice my method. Again, you know, quite possibly people with better methods than I do, certainly. But you know, my method kind of, I like to build blocky, and then I do a lot of the design work. And the reason is, you know, it really, if it's not going to work, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. I want to abandon it. If I did all this decorating work and then it doesn't work, it's like I wasted so much time decorating. Doing it this way, I think, just works a lot better. Make it square, make it blocky, make sure it works. Once it works, then go ahead and, you know, add some detailing. You know, I have things that, you know, I've used in the career build series for 30 episodes that I go back and do some detailing on because, you know, it worked, but, you know, some visual thing was bugging me and I decided to change it. All right, so that, you see, it still wants to go inside. I should be able to change that with the mechanics of it. Like, see right there, I think I limited the swing. Did I limit the swing? I'm not sure. Okay, so something, it's hitting something. So I'm going to change this mechanism. You see, it's kind of doesn't, the mechanism is kind of freaking out, man. So yeah, you see up top, it's pushing in and out. Oh, you know what? Let me look at this. This seems like it's okay. See, it has max power. It should have 0 power. I don't know how that got clicked to max power. Let me just check them all. Okay, let's try it now. Maybe it was when I moved it, it went to max power. Interesting. Let's try it now. Oh, let's push this all the way up. Okay. So see, I don't necessarily need full piston articulation either. So see, like so what I want to do here is let's put this on the ground. And I can actually look at the pneumatic piston itself, and I can see how much I have left. I have pretty much negative zero point 0.5, positive zero point 0.5 of range. You see I'm at 0.33, so I still have 166 essentially of range to go out. So, and I don't really need it to come up anymore. So I can also change how this sits. I can have it change sit there. Do a bunch of things. So I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Okay, so I'm probably going to change the orientation in this last section. Let's continue with some aesthetic stuff. I'm really liking the way that this stick looks. I don't know if I like this little hump here, but I don't hate it. So that's kind of something as well. Let's look at the next one. We'll look at the boom section here, and I think I can clean the boom up a little bit. So I'm going to move the stick now. Nope, forgetting my own controls. There we go. So see how it has to go inside a little bit there. Oh, I am controlling all the wrong things, and it's causing me problems here. Now let's just move up to that. Needs to go the other way. All right, I've done myself a disservice here. Okay, so I know what I need to do anyways. So let's go ahead and do it. So let's go ahead and grab one of these, copy it, and we'll go ahead and we're going to put it up on the boom here. So go J. A lot of people don't like the XML editing. That I understand it. They'd rather if it was native to the game. I certainly get that, but it's a building game, and part of it is coming up with your own solutions, and so I kind of like that, coming up with my own solutions. Like you see how these blocks are sitting within it. That's because the collision retains the old collision of where the block had it. So you can do things that are pretty cool where you actually make sure symmetry's off. I don't want to delete the block I just put in there. You can do pretty cool stuff where you actually you can make blocks however you want them, and that's kind of cool, I think. I might just leave these areas exposed so that the pistons can go in there. Part of it's just the game element of I don't want it to have collision freakouts. I can also always fix it so that it I put in an XML edited block with no collision. You saw how, like here, let's look. So, this block here is now 12. And so I could put a block here. I could put a block, I don't think I could put it here. So it's skipping collisions. That's how it's working right now. So we have no collision here, no collision here. So each segment, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you can see, the collisions are in the center. So that's kind of neat. I just learned that myself. So you see, we've extended the block 3 times. Well, it has 3 collisions. Well, here are your collisions for the old block. Are there, and there. So that's pretty neat to know. So one of the benefits of this is if you want to put something in, and normally you can't do it because of a collision, you can XML edit a block. So let's say, for example, I want to put a panel in. If it's going to collide with something because the panel has a collision in front of it, you could put an XML edited block in there, and that will allow you to cover it. For example, here's a great example. Let's say a compass. All right, a compass block. This one here, you often use this with your microcontrollers. And so you put a compass block, right? Well, because the compass block, it has a collision above it, you'll notice we can't put something on top of it, right? So what we'd have to do is when we put it in our builds, and this happens a lot, I have to put a space. Well, let's say I don't want to put a space, right? Because I'm building a helicopter, I don't have the space. This is supposed to be my exterior wall. One thing I could do, right, is I can XML edit a single block, right, so that it's 3 across, and then I can delete out the center block. All right, so when I extend it, right, now let's say I move the collision. Now the collision's over here, right? We have no collision block here, no collision block here. Well, that can sit across there, and it looks like there's a block there, but there's no collision. So I'll make an example of that at some point. But that shows how you can also reduce some space usage. All right, so let's articulate the stick and see if we have any hydraulic interaction there. Or pneumatic. These are pneumatic pistons, but it's supposed to be hydraulic, so. All right. So let's go ahead and go up. And we'll operate the stick. All right, so see now, you notice how it's right on the money there, but you notice it's not going in anymore, and so that's what we want. And so we can go to, I'm going to go to, it starts pulling. You see how it's pulling the pivot there? You see how it's pulling it forward? I want to go till it doesn't pull it forward anymore. So right about there. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start working on my limitations. And so I kind of have to fly up there to see what it's doing. Okay, so what I want to do here is, if I can get to it, there we go, compact robotic pivot. So it's a 0.34 is my maximum extension. So I'm going to start writing these down. And so what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to, when I put all this through a microcontroller, I can limit them so that I can't go past. It's like hyperextending a joint in your arm, right? If you think you can hyperextend your elbow, you'd say, okay, if I don't go past this point, I won't hyperextend my elbow. So let's see, the stick can go to. I'm forgetting all my stuff now. I have to let me put the boom down and we'll look at it here. All right. Let's go ahead and check this here. So we're going to check all the extension limits. So negative 0.34. So that's negative 0.34. Let's check max extension. Now we'll go through all four of them, and I'll limit them out. So we'll go up again, and now I'm going to go stick full contraction on the piston, and I'm going to go to about, we'll say right there. And now I want to check, and of course the way the heck up there, so I need to walk up there. All right, need to get closer. Where are we at here? Compact robotic pivot. 0.536. So we'll do 0.53 to 0.53. So that's our limitation there. And then I want to do the main boom here, and so let's go ahead. That's fully extended. Let's go full extension on this. Let's put the boom all the way down. I can lift up the excavator. That's fine. They do that IRL. Because you figure you want the arm to be able to go into a deep hole. So, okay, so right there it's bending the piston. So it's bending the piston there. So right about there, I'd say, is my max down angle. And so let's go ahead and check this. You would not want to do this in real life, getting under there. That's scary. That sort of stuff freaks me out. I don't like to be under heavy things. Let's see. So right there, negative 0.41. So let's do the boom, negative 0.41. Okay, now let's go max up. And so by putting these limitations in, and then I'm going to change the way the seat works, but by putting these limitations in, it's going to keep us from getting that situation that we got in a minute ago there where it got... Oh, I should be able to grab this ladder and get in. Come on, grab the ladder, ding dong. Grab the ladder, ding dong. Yeah, let's just do this. All right. And so so this will keep us from getting all bound up, is by figuring out these limitations and putting the limitations in. So we'll push the boom all the way up to where it needs to go. I just want to go about vertical is good. I don't see any need for me to go past that. I can always adjust it later. That is 0.42. So that's pretty symmetrical. 0.42. All right, so we have that done. And then I want to rework the mechanism there. But let's start buttoning up some of this, closing up some of these spaces. So the weight is working well. The weight block's inside the boom. I'm going to probably XML something for this. So I don't want it this long. It would have to be double, so it would have to be 8 blocks. So we're talking it would go to there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think that. So let's go ahead and XML edit that first. Let's go ahead and save this. Right out there. So I'm going to go ahead and I have this in here. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open the notepad back up. And so where I have 3 here, I'm going to go to 2. Save that. And then I can always go back and change it. This is so quick. Like I talked about before, when I used to do some stuff in Flight Sim, 15, 20 years ago now, you used to have to close the game, open the game for every change you made in the code, and it was like, oh my god, it would take you forever because if you didn't want me to do that. If you made a mistake in the code, you had to then close the game again, change what you were doing in XML, or and then you would have to reboot the game to get it all the changes to do. Like this, you see how quick it is. As soon as it's saved in the file, I can just go right in the game and use it. So that is sticking over. So right up 1. There we go. And let's move 1 over here. And then let's put 2 up top. And so, again, people are always asking for longer wedges. 1x3s you can't do. You see how long this is? This is 8. So you have to kind of increase that number in whole numbers. But native 1x3s, of course, would be nice. But some native odd numbers would be great for them to put in. But like some of these really kind of extreme ones. So you see how we have the new collisions here, so we can delete out 3 blocks there. So this one I'm going to have to XML edit this block wider in order to make this work for me. But that's not a big deal. I can XML edit one of these blocks. Probably make that. I have to keep that block, so that's going to be a little bit weird. But I think this one I'm going to have to keep. So I had 3, this is 2, so I can't go half numbers. Like I can't go 1.5. If I was to bring up Strenner's thing here again, don't believe I can go on. I have to do whole numbers, I believe. So like, where are we at? Pyramid 4. So like right here, why is this on its side? That's because it's pyramid instead of wedge. Wedge 4. So like right here, the latest one we made was 3. See, like I don't think or 2. The latest one was 2. I don't think I could do a 1.5. Yeah, see, it defaults to 2. Yeah, you have to do whole numbers. So, yeah, so that's not, you can't do any half numbers. So let's see how it looks in the world. Let's delete those out. Let's delete this. If it looks weird or funky, I will, I'll kind of try the 3x, and then if that looks weird, I'll stick with what it was. But that doesn't look bad. Like you see, there's a little bit of an edge there. Because I can't figure, there's no way to do this because see this is cutting off half of collision there, or half of it, because this is half. I'm missing half here, and I'm missing half here, so there's no way I can extend these. Well, maybe there is. Maybe if I triple one of these blocks, let's try that. So let's look at it first, and then we'll merge it up, look at it, and if I can barely tell, there's no point in doing anything. Like, see, I can tell a little bit, but it's not bad. Let me try tripling a regular block. So let's bring this back in. Let's go to block, and let's triple it. So how many? So that's perfectly 3. Let's go 2. Okay, there we go. See, it's covering half blocks. We need to cover half blocks. So that should work. Okay, so let's do that now. Let's go back here. I should be able to fix that. See, it's not bad. It's you can barely tell, but let's do it. So let's save this. All right, let's go new. All right, let's save this as XML block 2. Or too long. All right, let's bring up. I'm just going to get rid of all the ones I'm not currently using. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to bring it up in the folder just because it's always the first one in the folder where it's. What did I do? I think I did 2. I keep closing Strunner's thing. I know I don't, but I move it and then 2. Yep. Should keep trying to put it back on my tab, and I keep keeping it in its own tab. Okay, so we'll save that. We'll bring it up. We'll go ahead and we'll load the excavator back up. Let's go ahead and import that block. All right. Now let's see if we can't hide that. So see, this is now doing half blocks. So go right there. That should work. Beautiful. Paste. There. There. And we'll paste it down here. Paste there. And there. And let's go ahead and let's delete out what we don't need. So that's that. That can go. Those have to stay. These can go. Let's merge some things in here. And there we go. We have our smooth angles now. So that's looking good. Let's spawn it. Let's look at it. So you see that got rid of that little sharp edge there. So that's looking really good. I'm liking the shape. By making this more shapely, that's looking really good. Yeah, I'm liking it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start buttoning this up a little bit. So actually, let's work on this section here. Let's work on this last part here. This is a mess. So I'm going to quickly bring up my photo again. So I want the connection point to be certainly there, and then I want the connector plate. So essentially, I want to be able to add other components on here, like maybe a bucket. So this is like a quick connect. You could probably disconnect the hydraulics from the accessories hydraulics to run the jackhammer, pull the pin, pull this pin, yank that off. This doesn't look like that. Is this a quick connect plate? No, this doesn't look like a quick connect plate. This is welded. They do have quick connect plates where you essentially, the plate here has a connector and it would connect onto the attachment. Unless it's the black part's the quick connect, that could be, but I think the jackhammer is one part, but there are quick connects. I kind of want to make it like a quick connect. So let's kind of reconfigure this. So right there, that's central position. So let's try something. I can't move this down one because it needs to be able to extend. Let's do this. Let's just delete all this. Let's undelete. Let's save this. It's always good to save it before I massacre my boy. Let's go ahead and let's, instead of starting in this contracted position, let's go like this. So let's start by going down like so. Okay. Let's delete that. Let's delete those. Let's go ahead and fill this like so. And then let's take and let's put on that like that. Just trying to figure. I'd like to slide this down one, so let's try this here. Try like that. See if I can't slide this piston down one. It's going to be interesting. I may or may not be able to do it because the connector has. There we go. It's able to get down one. Can't go down another one as you see it hit the collision, but that gets me closer, which is better. Let's go ahead and let's delete out that. Then I should be able to thin this as well, which that's kind of nice. Let's try something here. Yeah, this is too bulbous for me here, so I kind of want to... Do we have any regular wedges that aren't XML? There's one. So I'm just kind of thinning this out a little here. Okay. I'm just kind of conceptualizing some other things as well while I'm here. Okay. And then I need to fill this in here with, come on, just give me, so another one of these. Oh, where is it? Okay, I need to undo a couple things I just did there. Let's see. Just gonna, I want to reconnect this and then like that maybe. Okay, let's try this. I'm just kind of trying to get this to look right. Okay, that's another one of the things that's nice about XML editing is, see, that's going to delete that collision. That's fine. Is, see, I can now have a block phase through another block with XML editing, because as long as there's no collision there, that phases through. So that's that. See, now that looks like it's connected by that wedge block, so we're in business there. All right, so let's check the articulation on this last section. See, it's not going to want to push down because of the way that's set up. I might have an idea how to... Is that going to work? See, the closer I can get to the arm, the less this piston... The more I push this out this way, this piston has to get longer and longer. So essentially what you're doing is you have two levers here. So you have the long lever, and then you have your pivot point, and then you have your short lever. So the short section is going to be blue, the pivot point green, and the long lever is pink. And so you're essentially using the piston to move the short lever, because the piston's very strong, moves the short lever, and then it will move the long arm. And so the longer I make this section, the longer the stroke I need on the piston to move this section. So what we're doing is we're using mechanical advantage. For example, I could go like this, and I have to move this block very little, and I get a huge swing of range on this block. So that's kind of, you know, when I kind of get quiet, I'm thinking of the geometry. And so like one thing I was thinking of is when this connects here, these are going to be touching each other. And so I'm going to be able to pull up and have this push out fine. But this is going to hit when it goes down. So what I might do is, can I do this? Can I make this? Ah, see that now, that's going to be better, I think. All right, let's try this. Okay, so let's see. The problem now is this is probably close to max extension. Yeah, oh yeah, that's 0.01 away from max extension. So that isn't going to cut it. Yeah, see, that's not helpful. Okay, so what I do need to do is when I put in this on the drill, it needs to be facing back already. Yeah, because see, as I push this piston further out, it's given an extension. So this one pretty much I think needs to be straight, like that. I can't go sideways on that. Can delete this out just to reduce collision. Again, it's thinking of the geometry of how this is going to work. I'll show you what I mean here. So like say I bring up the boom. Bring up the boom. I don't know why I can't. There we go. It's the door. So if I bring up the boom, if I want to bring this towards me, you see how it starts hitting? That's my main problem now, is it's hitting there. And so I have to, this wants to crumple into there, so I have to be careful of that. So this kind of has to be sitting up straight. You know, IRL you'd be able to add very long hydraulic pistons. We have standard size pistons in game here, so see like that, it doesn't want to come towards me any. I'm already pulling that off of center. I wonder, did that get re-strengthened again? No, it's not max strength. Let's look at this. Yeah, see, it'd be nice if you could start these connected, because I have to do a bunch of friggin' games to get this to play. I'm trying to think if I can make that lever system. I think I can remake the lever system. Let's try this. If I can remake that lever system, I think we'll be in business. So let me try that. Let's try some things here. Nope, don't delete it. Move it. Okay. If I move it, my connections stay, and then I don't have to screw with it again. All right, so I'm just, again, think of the geometry, trying to get the geometry right here. So I'm going to, instead of starting to like get too far into actually doing other things, I'm going to kind of, all right, so that's my short arm. Let's operate the short arm. Merge, 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 merge. Didn't merge, okay. Alright, so keeping that arm as short as possible makes that piston not have to move very much. Okay, so that's binding up. And that is starting to bind there. Okay, so I think it's the swing. I've changed the orientation of the articulation. I need to change the orientation of the piston. So there's a piston problem again. So let me cut that. Let's go like that now. This should hopefully fix it. Okay, let's try this now. Because again, if I keep that actuation lever short, I can then, the actual movement lever can be long. So let's go up. Alright, let's go out. Okay, so we'll go back. That's about as far as back as I can go on that. Oh, do I have it limited already? I don't know. I have to look. So, see, I have a collision there with the connector, which is annoying. Let me see if I have direct connect here. Like that, yeah, it's direct connect to the seat. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that's a little annoying because of the way they have this set up. What I could do is this. I don't want to make this too cumbersome as a problem. See, let's bring back the photo. So essentially what I'm trying to do is make this lever. The issue here is, which is going to be the solution, but again in game it's big. You have to make something huge. Is I have a pivot point here, which is that pivot that I just moved. I also need a pivot up here, which will let that articulate. So I'm having to do dual pivots. And I kind of know this all along, but it's just I'd rather not have to do it because it's a pain. So let me see. It's very cumbersome space-wise because everything in game is just bigger than it should be really. Let's see. So let's put a block here. Okay. So this is the pivot of the lever. And then I need to extend the lever. Okay. And then I need to put in another pivot. Okay. This is a pain already. Let's do a velocity pivot. Velocity pivot can turn 360 degrees. This is not going to be powered. The other one's going to be powered, so this one doesn't really matter. See, I'm extending my pivot, which I don't like either, but gonna kind of have to. Let's go like this. This is going to be a pain. This is going to be a pain. But I think it's going to work. And that's the thing is I'm looking for functionality at the moment. We're having space constraints here. Let's do that, and let's try this. This could be hairy here with collisions. Like that. And then I want to put this to 0 power. Again, let's proof of concept this, see if this works. Don't have high hopes for it, but okay. Yeah, see, because it's free floating, it doesn't want to behave itself. Yeah, see, like it wants to, because there are two sections that are not doing anything. I could make that pneumatic actuator actually do the work. Come on. All right, let's try making the pneumatic actuator actually do the work. So let's go strength to 100%. Let's go ahead and, where's AD? AD, let's put that to the pneumatic actuator. Let's go ahead and take that out of the equation. Let's go ahead and make this dummy. So we'll actually make it this way. Let's see if I can make this work for me. Alright, so let's actuate this last section here. This might be how I have to do it. Okay. So that's, it's working. It's just wonky. It's easier using the pivot. See, I end up hitting that. Okay, so at the moment I'm overcomplicating this, which is not great. I tried undercomplicate. See, the other thing, I pushed this down, which was not helpful. That added, by pushing that down, that really kind of screwed things up because it, made the pneumatic piston have to go further. Because see, I need 2 pivot points, and that's kind of being a pain. So let me try something. I don't want this to take all day to just get this to work, so. So this has no collision here. Does it have one here? No collision there. Where's the first collision on this? So no collision there is the one I care about. Let's see if I can make this a really short pivot. Because that's the other benefit of the XML edit in that it makes the collision very short. Can't go there because that's going to cause me problems. Let's try this. No, I screwed myself up already. I need to reconnect AD here. AD needs to come off of that. This needs to go there. Then this needs to go back to dead spawn. Okay. So let's try to actuate this. This might be more towards what I need here. Again, a lot of it's me trying to figure the geometry out in my head and then come back and operate it. Okay, I know why. I changed this one over. I took the power out, so that's why it wasn't working, as it was signaled to have no power. So, all right. Let's go up on the boom. Let's actuate the implement. Why are you not working now? You're stressing me out, man. Okay, what is going on? Why is this not moving now? Full power. AD. You are at 0 power. 0 power. Okay. Is everything merged? Merged. These are not the same color, are they? I don't think so. No, they're different colors. Alright, so I don't know why that's not working here. Everything merged that needs to be merged. Yeah, let's spawn it and check. Curious why this doesn't want to do anything now. What is up? Why is this not moving? Yeah, see, it's doing nothing. It's shaking, so it's trying to do. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's a collision somewhere in there that's causing me a problem. So where is this colliding with? See, I shouldn't have a. Is that a collision? That's a collision there. Okay, so this is the collision where I thought there was no collision. There is a collision there. So, okay. So like here, let's do this. I'm going to test this collision out. I want to see if there's a collision through that XML edited piece. Yeah, see there's a collision right here. So that's where I'm binding is right there. So I thought there was no collision there. There is. So this is hitting right here. How do I fix that? That's a question. So let's start by getting rid of it. By getting rid of this XML edited piece and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then there's no point in continuing with this endeavor of making this particular system work. If it does work, okay, so that's going to go like that. So maybe I'll keep this last section hollow because this works. This is working exactly how I want it now. We have an incredibly short lever, and it gives me huge articulation. So let's figure the limitations of this out, and I'll write them down. So this right here is limited to -1. All right, so the implement is -1. Let's go max. Let's try to go before I end up with it in the arm. And so I can go to right there. And this is what? So -0.05 to -0.05. All right. And let's stick an implement on there and see what my range looks like. So we're going to put the fake, we'll put the fake drill back on there. All right, so I can go out and in. Let's put a drill on there. So let's just go. Let's take this medium motor. So I think it was a medium motor in the video, or at first I thought it was a large. Is that a medium? It is a medium. Oh my. All right, so there's my fakey drill again. All right. Again, a lot of this is just kind of like overdoing it here to get it to be a little bit more perfect. Okay, so that's all the way back. Beautiful. And that's out. So we want to limit it to about there. So that's fine, man. So see that can't hit that long section. So I'll fill that in with something, but so that it's not completely hollowed. But so yeah, that's working well. This new implement is going to work. That's working really well for me. Okay, good. Aesthetically, I'm liking it. So let's kind of fill this in with something here. Let's take the shorty one here. So I'm going to grab this and this. We'll copy that. Now we'll fill this with this. That will, where are my collisions here? So see how we have a collision missing there? That's what we're looking for. I want to get that initial collision to not be there. So, and so I'm going to get this as low as I can get it. See right there, that's filling that up nicely. See if I go there, let's try there, man. Do I like it there or do I like it there? I think here is going to cause me the fewest number of problems. Where's my collision? I'm going to test the collision here. Collision's right here, so let's go up one just to make sure we don't collide. All right. Come on, man. Where's the grab here? There we go. Okay, so that is now in there. So that's nice. And then that will hit this, so that needs to be the same one. Let's copy this. Copy. Is there anything there I lament losing? There is not. Beautiful. Paste you there. Merge you in. Gorgeous. Okay, so that is done. And then I'm going to do the same treatment here, so I think, yeah, might as well. Because, you know, I need space for this arm underneath here. Let's see. Yeah, leave a gap, and that's going to fill that in nicely, and that will give me plenty of articulation space without having collision issues. I think that's a good idea to do. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. This is working out. So, takes a little bit. You know, part of it is, again, I just got up to, but the geometry of these things is, I try to think it out in my head first and then execute it, and sometimes it is a struggle to get it to do exactly what I want in my head more than anything. And then once I kind of conceptualize it, I can then go ahead and execute it. But it takes a second to kind of figure it out. And then, you know, there are some things you're not thinking about, like where the collision exactly is, and then that bites you. All right, so that is there. Let's fill this one in. Again, I need to put in I'm sure the devs know about it, but I would love it if you could color that diamond, or like, see right now, watch this. So you see we see all the grid lines. Well, I can come over here, shut off grid lines. Okay. It should be the same as the grid lines. The grid lines should show in the editor, right? And they don't show when I spawn in the world. The same for the dot on the weight blocks. It should be that the dot shows so you know when you're building something that it has weight blocks. And then as soon as okay, that I know what that is there. That is the little bumper to bump these. And then as soon as that's done, as soon as you spawn it in the world, the grid lines go, the dots for the weight blocks go away. That's the way it should operate. Okay. So the arm is buttoned up now. The boom's buttoned up. All sections appear to be buttoned up. This could use a... I don't want to put a full block there. That's fine. Nobody's going to see that. So this is working really well. You know, we're on time here, so I'm going to finish this one up. I'm hoping that the next episode... I'm gonna stick with this. I want this done. I'm hoping the next episode I can finish this off. If I can finish this off, that'd be great. You know, I like to intersperse some missions in with some of the build videos, but I want to get ready for this new DLC. So the arm is working really well. Everything works in the arm. I need to put in limitations, so that'll be a quick microcontrol. Let's do that right now really quick. So I just need to put in a limiter essentially. So this is going to go, let's see, arm. We want to go composite input from the seat. We want to do, this is going to have to swell, which is fine. That's an output, that's boom. That's number, output, stick. And this is going to be implement. Is it implement or implement? Implement. Okay, I had it right. I didn't have this right though. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete all that. So the seat. All right, so we need to do, what do we have it as? AD is implement. AD. I want thread clamp. I always click on the wrong one. See, 1, 1. -1, -1. Okay. All right. All right, so here are going to be our 3 here, so... All right, so we're going to have 1 is AD, that's the implement. Up, down is 4. That's going to be the boom. Stick is WS, that's 2. Okay, and then so I need to put in up-down counters. I'll finish it first. So we want, oh, they're all going to be different, so it doesn't matter. And then this is how I'm going to set the speeds. So implement, I want fast, so I want 0.2 maybe. Enabled. Now I'm going to put in my limitations here. So the implement is -1 to -0.05. Excuse me, there you go. Goes like that. And then this one here, that's going to be a step up, so that's going to be, I have to be careful with this. That is probably, let's throw a 0 in there. So that's 0.05. No, I'm doing it backwards. Implement should be 0.05. This one should be 0.25. Click on the actual thing, dude. 0.25, and this one should be 0.1 or 0.01. All right, so this one has, this is the stick. This has a limitation of negative 0.35, negative 0.35. This has a limitate to an upper limitation 0.53. The boom has a negative 0.41 to 0.42. All right, so let's hook these up here. All right, let's go ahead and screw with this. Update. Logic. Boom. Boom's going to be there. This is going to be stick. This here is going to be implement. And then I need to grab the seat. Then I need to configure the seat. So AD is implement. It's going to be reset 100%. WS is going to be stick. Be reset 100%. And then up down is going to be boom. Reset 100%. All right, let's check them. So now they should be limited to where where I want them to be. Okay, so let's operate. Oh, holy mother. So that is like 10 times as fast as it needs to be. So we'll do speed 10%. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. So let's drop all the speeds down to 10% of their current configuration. All right, so this one needs to be 0, 0, 0. Okay. All right, it's stopping there. Why can't I go in? Okay, look at the hinge. See the hinge bending? It's hitting the collision up top. Okay, so see right there? When it gets to here, it's hitting the collision, it's pushing the piston out. Let me see if that's at my limitation level too. That could also be me being at my limitation. 0.05. Okay, so that's, let me increase that a little bit. It's having a collision issue, but it's minor. Again, if it doesn't freak out, I'm not all that concerned about it. Let's up the implement from 0.05 to, let's do 0.08. Let's test it. I don't really need that implement to stick out too much, but let's test it and see how I like it. Okay. Okay, so see, it's definitely colliding with something, I think. Let me check. Let me make sure it's... Okay, no, it's at 0.08. Let's go a large number and let's just figure out where I want it. Keep jumping in my seat to get back on the workbench because I'm used to a boat where I have to get on it to do it. Implement right here. Let's just go to... Oh, well, let's do 0.2. And that's a much bigger number, and let's... and then if we start have binding issues, I can check it out and see where it needs to be. Okay, so I need to make it. I'm going to make it a huge number if it's being not doing this 10 times here. Yeah. Okay. Let's make that just -1, and then I'll figure it out. Okay. Implement -1. Nope. -1. What am I doing here? Max 1. Let's make that max 1. Now let's see where I can go to. And then once it binds, I'm going to try to back it off, and I'll check it, and then I'll be able to set it. So. I have my hands on both sets of the keyboard, so. Okay, let's go in. Okay, so I see how it's pushing the piston out. I don't want that, so I'm going to go till that doesn't happen. All right, so right there, that's my upper limit. So that's fine. Most of your work is done inside. You're not pushing that out to do most of the work anyway. So that is, what, 0.005? I guess that, yeah, that makes sense. 0.005. So we'll just make it 0. We'll just make it 0 here. That, I think, makes sense. So instead of negative point, 05 or whatever, what was it? I had it as negative 0.05. We're just going to make that a 0. Okay, so that is good. Let's save this. Next episode, I'm going to stick with this. I want to button it up. I may or may not try direct drive. This motor, this microcontroller is already set up for diesel electric. I'll probably just do electric. Electric's going to be the easiest. I don't want to screw with this forever and ever. I want to get to a front end loader. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to do. This is just problematic at the moment. There's no need for it. I can also, if I feel like it later, I can go to 360-degree rotation very easily if I if I do electric. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do electric. So we'll do the diesel electric painting, and then I think we're pretty good. Hide microcontrollers. So I will see you guys in the next one.